All right, let's dive into something huge today. We're going to unpack how India is building a truly world-class insurance system, pretty much from the ground up. And trust me, it's an incredible story of massive scale, really smart regulation, and some game-changing innovation.
So let's just start with the central challenge, because the scale here is, well, it's just mind-boggling. Seriously, how on earth do you build an insurance safety net for 1.4 billion people? We're talking about a population with just immense diversity in income, where they live, what they need. A question that big, it demands a solution that's just as big and just as creative.
And the answer isn't some single magic bullet policy. Nope. What India is doing is building this incredibly complex, multi-layered ecosystem. You can think of it like this. Each layer has its own job to do, but they're all designed to work together to weave one single, really resilient safety net for everyone. Now, any massive structure, and this is a massive one, needs an absolutely solid foundation. So for this first part, we're going to look at the very bedrock of the system, the pieces that create stability and, maybe most importantly, trust. Right at the very heart of this foundation is the IRDAI. That's the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. This is the absolute cornerstone of governance. Think of it as being both the architect that's designing the entire system and the building inspector who makes sure everything is built to last. Its whole purpose is to protect both the industry's financial health and, of course, you, the consumer.
And what's so interesting is how all these different roles fit together to create this comprehensive web of security. The IRDI isn't just sitting back and making rules. No, it's actively managing the health of the entire industry, from making sure companies have enough money to pay claims to approving the actual products they're allowed to sell. It's that hands-on approach that really builds lasting public trust.
Another really key part of this foundation is this unique dual structure they've set up. So on one side, you have these massive government-owned public sector insurers. Their mission is all about reach, getting basic insurance into every last rural corner of the country. And then on the other side, you have the more nimble, private players. They're the ones bringing in dynamic innovation and more sophisticated products, mostly to urban markets. So you see, they aren't really competing so much as they are complementing each other to cover the whole spectrum.
Okay, so with that foundation set in stone, the system can focus on its primary mission: insurance for all. In this next section, we're going to explore the amazing initiatives that are designed to stretch that safety net to literally every single citizen, especially those who are the most vulnerable.
And this table, wow, it really drives home the incredible scale of what's happening. We're talking about flagship programs like the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, or PMJJBY, which gives life insurance to millions. Then you've got the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, PMSB, for accident insurance. And of course, Ayushman Bharat. It's one of the largest public health insurance schemes on the entire planet, specifically for the most vulnerable families. These aren't just little niche programs. They are fundamental pillars of social security.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures the core philosophy. This isn't just about balance sheets and economics, it's a social mission. The fundamental goal is to provide a financial cushion for the people who need it the most, protecting them from those completely unexpected financial shocks in life.
But the strategy goes even deeper than those massive national schemes. I mean, to really reach everyone, the system has to be adaptable. And that's where microinsurance comes in. These are small, super targeted, low-cost policies. A great example is the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which protects farmers if their crops fail, or other products designed just for informal workers. It's all about tailoring that safety net to fit the very specific risks that different communities face.
Of course, when you bring millions and millions of new people into the market, protecting them is absolutely paramount. So India has built this really robust consumer protection system, with ombudsman offices and online grievance portals. This gives people a clear path to get their issues resolved, which is just vital for building and maintaining that all-important trust in the system.
All right, now we get to the really exciting part. A system this massive just can't be stuck in the past. So let's look at how India is building a truly future-ready network by embracing both digital technology and global best practices.
Just look at this digital journey. It is a complete game changer for accessibility. The whole thing is powered by what's called the India Stack, which is basically a set of public digital platforms that let different services talk to each other seamlessly. So you can use your Aadhaar digital ID to get verified instantly, buy a policy online, store it securely in your DigiLocker, and even file claims right from a mobile app. This just removes so much friction and makes insurance accessible to literally anyone with a smartphone.
But what about a really big disaster, right? Like a major flood or an earthquake? Well, that's where reinsurance comes in. It's basically insurance for the insurance companies themselves. This behind-the-scenes framework, led by the General Insurance Corporation of India, or GIC Re, makes sure that even after a huge catastrophe, the industry as a whole has the financial muscle to pay out all the claims and stay stable.
And finally, India isn't building this whole thing in a bubble. By aligning with global standards for things like accounting, solvency, and ESG, that's environmental, social, and governance principles, it's making its insurance sector way more competitive and attractive to international investors. This is all about building a system that can truly stand on the world stage.
So, we've looked at the foundation, the mission for inclusion and the future-ready tech. Let's take a step back now and see how all of these different pieces actually click together to create the big picture.
When you put it all together, three really clear guiding principles emerge. First, there's accountability, which is driven by that strong regulation and the clear grievance process. Then, there's inclusivity, which is achieved through those massive government schemes and the targeted microinsurance. And finally, you have sustainability, which is ensured by smart risk management and by lining up with global standards.
And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. What we've been looking at isn't just a financial system. It's a powerful engine that's really been designed for two jobs at once, creating social protection for its citizens, while at the very same time, building a more resilient national economy.
Now, an ecosystem this complex and this ambitious is always evolving, always changing. And that leaves us with one final, and I think crucial question to think about. As technology and the country's demographics continue to shift, what's going to be the next great challenge for India's insurance future?